Hit the music. Life I'm Jay. That's Steve.
Finally.
Yeah. It's nice and nice outside. Look. So, welcome to the show. Let's get to it. Now, crap, I forgot what I was going to say.
Before we do anything here, gotta do this.
Ow.
We have a little breaking news. When you hear this, folks, it'll be old breaking news, but breaking news nonetheless. The leader and the founder of Van Halen, Eddie Van Halen, has just passed away. So our sympathies and respects to the band and to his family, including his ex-wife, Valerie Bertinelli. So just thought I'd lead off with that. Now back to the happiness.
All right, so as we've noted before on the show, Toonami on the 17th will be starting at 1 a.m. Now, before we might have said Toonami will go to 4:30, but Black Clover is not airing on Toonami that week. Here's your lineup. From midnight to 1, it's Holy Kalambaho, hosted by my boy Eric Andre. At 1, it's Dragon Ball Super. At 1:30, it's JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Golden Wind. At 2, it's Assassination Classroom. At 2:30, it's Fire Force. At 3, it's Naruto Shippuden. Hold on. Pause recording. Anyways. Alright. So, as I was saying before a phone call rudely interrupted, at 3 a.m. it's Naruto Shippuden, and at 3:30 it's Demon Slayer. And of course, remember, that's next week. This week we're just getting Demon Slayer appointments and whatever. Alright. Now on to Steve for the rest.
Okay, let's get you pumped up after Raw, and let's do the Raw stuff here. Whoops. Okay, we, after a long open from Randy Orton, we finally got some wrestling. Zelina Vega, Lana, Natalya took on Mandy Rose, Dana Brooke, and Asuka. And the winners were Mandy Rose, Asuka, and Dana Brooks. Let's keep going. The 24/7 champion R-Truth is backstage holding a mock draft, which, by the way, begins Friday on Fox, on SmackDown, and ends on Raw. I know the feeling. And a masked man appears to attack Truth, and Truth thinks it's Randy Orton, is just like the janitor. This leads to the mystery man rolling Truth up for a title change, takes off the covering, and it's Drew Gulak. He runs away with the title and taunts Truth. Truth tells little Jimmy that they got. Lord only knows what the viewers got. Seth Rollins and Murphy versus Dominic Mysterio and Humberto Carrillo. Okay. The winners, believe it or not, was Mysterio and Carrillo. I do believe. Yep. Actually, no. Check that. The winners were Murphy and Seth Rollins. Nice swerve, wasn't it? Okay, let's keep on going here. We let's see, a lot of filler on this, so we'll just go on here. The exhibition match, Braun Strowman versus Keith Lee, wound up to be a countout. Yawn. And Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin versus Apollo Crews and Ricochet, or as we now affectionately like to call him, Jobber number 2000. The Hurt Business won that one. Gee, a name. And we keep going, folks, to the women's tag team title matches. The Riot Squad versus Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler. Gee, I wonder who won that match. Yep, Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax. And for I guess what we could say is the main event, Drew McIntyre and the Street Profits took on Randy Orton, Robert Roode, and Dolph Ziggler. The winners of the match were Randy Orton and Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode. And by the way, Retribution came in before the main event. And sure enough, Mustafa Ali is supposedly now the leader of Nexus. I mean Aces and Eights. I mean Retribution. Oh boy. And that was Raw in a nutshell. Yeah. I agree with you wholeheartedly. Mick Foley said, hey, that was nice. Okay. Let's keep going. By the way, little news items for your vestive interest. And it is Eric of the Viking Raiders out of action. Eric underwent surgery with Dr. Jeffrey Dugas at Andrews Sports Medicine and Orthopedic Center in Birmingham, Alabama. He revealed on Twitter that he had some surgical hardware removed from his arm, something he's been putting off for some time. The leftover hardware may be related to the serious motorcycle accident that Eric was in back in 2014, but that wasn't confirmed. He suffered a broken arm and other injuries in that accident. Eric wrestled last week on WWE Main Event, losing to Riddick Moss. He lost to Moss on Raw Underground the week before that, and the week before that, he lost a Raw match to WWE United States Champion Bobby Lashley. Man, is this guy getting a push? Oh, boy. Your next jobber, ladies and gentlemen. All right, we keep going here. Ring of Honor has released a new EC3 teaser video, as if seeing him on Impact Wrestling wasn't enough. Let's see. Here we go. Let's keep going with some more news, folks. Yes, indeed. We're going to keep going. Major League Wrestling has announced the return of the Opera Cup. No, not the Oprah Cup. The Opera Cup. Let's see. Any other major news? Santos Escobar says True Lucha Libre is not masked men jumping all over the place. Then what is it? Batista on Wrestling with Asthma. I hid inhalers under the ring. Okay. Paige, by the way, made some comments. We'll tell you about those comments. Paige. She took to Twitter today and fueled the rumor mill with a tweet on unionism. Various wrestlers have talked about a possible labor union in pro wrestling for years, but there's never really been a strong attempt, especially in the WWE or other major promotions, as it would drastically change the landscape of the business. Well, Paige's tweet has people speculating on how there may be someone gathering WWE talents to discuss a possible union in the company to potentially influence what happens next coming out of the company's recent third-party ruling. It's unlikely that WWE is talking to talents about any kind of union activity. Paige wrote this tweet. Learned a lot about unionism today. Well, Zelina Vega, who also has a Twitch account with her husband, Aleister Black, and other social media platforms, responded to Paige's tweet. Quote, thinking face emoji. It was recently revealed, by the way, for those of you that didn't know, that the WWE will be taking over the Twitch accounts owned by WWE talents and that WWE will get a cut of the revenue. In other words, WWE will get rich and their independent contractors will get totally screwed. This comes, of course, after WWE chairman and fossilized egotist Vince McMahon recently issued an edict that said talents had until October 2nd, which is 4 days ago, to cease all unauthorized third-party activity with various social platforms. It was noted that repeated violations could result in potential fines, suspensions, or loss of job. To read Paige's recent comments on her successful Twitch account, go to WrestlingInc.com and click a few spots. Sarah Stock was arrested this weekend. Shocking to know, but let's find out why, shall we? Former WWE producer and wrestling veteran Sarah Stock was arrested Sunday morning in Evansville, Indiana, according to PW Insider. Court records show that Stock was charged with aggravated battery, disorderly conduct, public intoxication by alcohol, and resisting law enforcement. She must love Sonny. She was booked. Thank you. She was booked into jail by the Vandenberg County Sheriff's Department 4:25 a.m. on Sunday and has already been released. Stock was furloughed from her WWE job back in April due to COVID-19, but was officially released from the job last month. She was originally hired by WWE back in 2015 after a successful in-ring career. Stock has a YouTube channel where she live streams and shows footage from her van life travels. And if you want to know more, go to YouTube, of course, and they'll give you more. Or she'll give you more. Or she'll give you less. But it's a fun channel, more or less. Okay, let's keep going with more major news. Any news will do. New Japan Pro Wrestling, which has been in the news recently, at least on our show, announced a couple of tournaments this Friday. NJPW Strong, streaming on NJPW World. The lineup has been announced. Fred Rosier, Barrett Brown, and Adrian Quest versus Mysterioso, Logan Regal, and Blake Christian in a six-man tag action. The finals of the Lions Break Crown tournament take place between Clark Connors and Danny Limelight. The main event is a huge 12-man tag team elimination match featuring Rocky Romero, TJP, ACH, MOUSE, Carl Fredericks, Jeff Cobb, and David Finlay going against Jay White, Kenta, Tamatonga, Tonga Loa, Chase Owens, and Hikuleo. NJP also announced this year's Best of the Super Juniors 27 and World Tag League 2020 tournaments will run at the same time. Best of the Super Juniors typically happens in May, but was delayed due to the pandemic. Each tournament will begin on November 15th, with the finals of both tournaments happening on December 11th. Tournaments will alternate in the shows in between. The participating teams have not been yet announced. Crazy, isn't it? Here's more crazy. At the annual W3 Awards, the WWE picked up a total of 41 wins. The wins include 5 awards for the New Day's Feel the Power podcast, including the Best in Show Award for Best Individual Episode for Podcasts, which was the June 6th episode on racial injustice. Corey Graves' After the Bell podcast also picked up 5 awards. There are also awards for WWE's various social media channels: Instagram, YouTube, Snapchat, TikTok, Facebook, and Twitter. WWE also won a Gold Trophy for social features, best social presence. The WWE Network picked up a total of 16 awards, while The Bump landed 4 awards, including a silver for best web personality / host for video, which went to Kayla Braxton. And of course, the WWE made the big announcements with the full list of 41 wins. And, well, you already know most of them, so why read the press release? As they say, and we are live. And, oh, jeez. Go over to your corner there, Mom. They could be over there. Sorry about that. Happens every time I do something. Anyway, we'll talk about that moment later. Backstage news and possible plans for Otis have been leaked out, and apparently one of them is to remove the Money in the Bank briefcase from him. Oh, that's bad. Let's go down here, boys. Thank you. It was reported today by WrestleVotes that WWE officials have pitched multiple ideas to get the briefcase off Otis and to make the Money in the Bank storyline a main focus again. Ringside News first reported last week that the plans for the Money in the Bank briefcase were up in the air and that many options are on the table. It's believed that WWE Chairman and CEO Vince McMahon hasn't made his mind up on plans for a briefcase yet, and if he has, he's not telling anybody. The main issue in the way of getting the briefcase off Otis is WWE Chairman and CEO Vince McMahon, which is obviously a significant issue. Vince is said to be Otis's biggest fan, and because of that, right now the change is a no-go, but that could change, much like Vince's mind. There is no word on what ideas have been pitched, but it was noted that some of them are really decent. Otis and Tucker are currently feuding with The Miz and John Morrison, who have been trying to get possession of the briefcase in recent weeks. Friday's SmackDown on Fox episode is set to feature a courtroom segment where Otis represents himself against a recent lawsuit brought against him by Miz and Morrison as they continue to try to get possession of the Money in the Bank title shot. Yeah, that's going to be an Academy Award winner. Let's go to some entertainment news we've already jumped entertainment. Then again, it is wrestling. Okay, let's go to let's go to our friends over at Deadline. Get you a little bit of film news and business news, etc. By the way, AMC theaters will remain open following Cineworld and Regal's temporary shutdown. Raw. Ain't that good? New study finds Hollywood studios could lose money from movies that lack diversity. And let's see. The Price is Right has returned to production with a redesigned set. And boy, this is disappointing because, well, in a way, we all remember that nice line that Johnny Olsen coined, "Come on down." Well, instead of coming on down, they're going to be coming on up. Long-running game show Price is Right is heading back into production today with a redesigned COVID-friendly set and all of its usual rounds, but for the first time in its 48-year run, it'll be without its rambunctious audience. Production returns later today at Television City in Hollywood. Evelyn Warfel, who took over as showrunner and executive producer of the Fremantle-owned and produced CBS show last year, told the folks at Deadline how they got it back filming. Warfel said that after the show stopped production in March, she and her team spent the last few months working out what a COVID-friendly production, following all the local state and guild guidelines, would look like for The Price is Right. We quickly realized we were not going to be able to have 300 people on the show sitting close together. We said that we're going to come back without an audience to maintain the safety as best as we could for our talent, for the contestants, for our staff and crew. That was the hardest part of all this. The audience is such a core part of that show, and so for the first time in 48 years, we've had to look at it and go, okay, we're bringing the show back and it's going to be different, and we have to hope and know that everyone understands what's going on and how serious it is, and we want to bring back this show for everyone, but it has to look different. If we want to come back, we have to do it safely. Now, unlike some other entertainment formats, the Drew Carey-hosted show is not able to have a virtual audience, as ultimately it would be impossible to ensure that they weren't looking online for the actual prices of the items. Fans will hopefully be seated, however, that all of their favorite games will be back. Yeah, it is seated. They misspelled. We're still going to have the same great games. We figured out how to bring all 77 games back while maintaining social distancing. So they'll see all their favorite games. It was also important to keep the Come On Down. Season 49 of the show would have previously started in mid-August, with episodes on the air at the end of September. To make up for this, the team are increasing the number of episodes they film a day from 2 to 3. Warfel is also moving the production days so that one of the days of filming will be Sunday, where there are fewer people on the lot. I want to maximize the amount of time we could have reduced exposure to other shows and other people. The set has also been reboot and rebuilt. Decking has been put on top of the area that the audience used to sit, and each contestant on Bidder's Row are now 6 feet apart. We pulled out all the audience chairs and we put in decking, and we've now made it all one level, so it's level. You know how they used to run up the stairs to meet Drew? I felt like it was odd for Drew to be talking down to only 4 people. It made sense when it's 300 and it's a whole audience, but it felt weird for him to be talking down to 4 people and then having it empty behind him. As with many other productions, there are production zones, masks and shields, and regular testing. The Fremantle team also worked closely with a team of COVID doctors. They walked through the games with the doctors to discuss where we'll have Drew stand and how the contestants will stand. We made some changes to some games, but they will all be spinning the wheel. They're able to all touch the wheel. They'll just have to sanitize their hands first, and then after that, the first wheel spin, the wheel will be sanitized for the next wheel spin. Now, many have suggested that these COVID costs increased the budgets by between 10 and 20%, while The Price is Right doesn't have the same budget as, say, a primetime shiny floor show. Warfield said it doesn't pose any particular difference for daytime. And she feels excited. They had a shot of Drew Carey. He has a sort of a more grayish beard. But apparently, the main picture they have of part of the set is interesting. You got the 4 pricing booths where the 4 contestants are going to be. This is sort of going to be like, if memory serves, like the Australian Price is Right, with an audience, yes, and they didn't have to go down a little thing. They're on the same level. So there's a little bit of the Australian / English or Great Britain version of TPIR. But looking at it, it looks pretty good. I think people are going to love it. So, Brain, by the way, Warner Brothers shifted Batman to 2022. Dune drifts to 2021. Matrix and Shazam sequels will also be moving to either 2021 or 2022. So there you go on all that fun and thrills from Hollyweird. Brain?
Yeah.
I think that's it.
All right.
We'll see you next Sunday.
All right.
For the Brain, I'm the Baxman. Peace.